Hi everyone, here's a new video about how G-Stomper works. This time we'll talk about everything that concerns parameter automation. Let's get started! All G-Stomper apps provide full motion sequencing and parameter automation support. In other words, you can record parameter movements, e.g. a fader movement, in real time. Alternatively, you can create and edit a parameter automation step by step using the step edit mode, which we'll deal with in more depth a little later. Press record and play to start recording. Now, while the sequencer is running and recording, move the fader in the way you want to. This is recorded in real time. You'll see your recorded automation immediately. This means once the pattern has looped around and reaches the point step where the recording started, the sequencer starts to play back the recorded automation, even if record is still enabled. If you're not yet happy with the recording, just pick the fader at any playback position and move it again to overwrite either the complete or a part of the existing automation. Once you've finished the recording, press record again to disable recording and return to normal playback mode. There's no need to stop the sequencer. Everything can be done while the sequencer is running. The step edit mode is used to set edit parameter values explicitly at a particular step in the sequence. You can use the step edit mode to edit already recorded parameter automations, as well as to step-by-step create new automations. A parameter automation can be a smooth curve, as well as a simple change of a parameter, e.g. to play a sample backwards at a particular step while all other steps play it forward. The step edit mode comes with two main operation modes. Short click, turn the step edit normal mode on or off. Long click, turn the step edit auto init steps mode on or off. However, it's important to bear in mind that since the step edit auto init mode is a variation of the regular step edit mode, it only has an effect if the step edit is turned on. Step edit main drum machine. In step edit mode on the main drum machine, the steps turn into a step selector. Click the steps to select a particular step to edit. Step Edit, FX, Master Sum Effects, Mixer, VAB Synthesizer. On various screens across the application you'll find the simple step edit controls. Their function is exactly the same as on the main drum machine. The only difference is that the arrow buttons are used to select the particular set to edit. Depending on the type of click you make on these buttons, this will be their functionality. Short click, one step up or down. Long click, one bar up or down. The text between the arrow buttons shows the currently edited step position using the following notation: bar, step. Let's take an example. Here we see that the values are shown 1 to 09, which means in fact bar 1, step 09. Step edit normal mode. By default, initial pattern comes without any automation events. In step edit normal mode, if you create a single automation event, set a parameter value at a particular step, then the parameter gets set at this step and it keeps its value until some later step sets a new value. The parameter actually keeps the value because there's no other event in the sequence which sets another value. Depending on what you want to achieve, this behavior may be essential, e.g. if you want to set the key steps for the Autocomplete parameter automation feature. This feature will be explained in more detail later. In other situations, it might be better to initialize all steps with a base value of a particular parameter first, e.g. if you want to keep a parameter value over the complete pattern length, and you only want to change it in a particular step. To set a value on all steps, and then just change one or more particular steps, e.g. to play a sample backwards at some steps while the other steps play it forward, you have to initialize the automation of the desired parameter in advance. You can initialize all steps for a parameter, using the initialize parameter automation function. Or if you don't mind about the initialization, by using the step edit auto init steps mode. In the step edit auto init steps modes, if you create the first step value from a particular parameter, all steps get automatically initialized with the base value of the edited parameter. An important point: If you want to set key steps to be used for the autocomplete parameter automation, the auto init steps mode must be disabled. With the auto init steps mode enabled, all steps get automatically initialized, which means in fact there are no more gaps to be auto-completed. Step Edit Auto Init Steps mode. By default, an initial pattern comes without any automation events. In Step Edit Auto Init Steps mode, if you create a single automation event, set a parameter value to a particular step, then the automation sequence of the parameter gets automatically initialized before the step values get set. Let's see how it works with a simple example. Start with a fresh pattern. Select track T01. Set the volume fader to 100. Short-click the Step Edit button to turn the Step Edit mode on. Then long-click the Step Edit button to turn the Auto Init Steps mode on as well. Select Step 09 using the step buttons. On Step 09, set the volume fader to 0. Now short-click the Step Edit button to turn the Step Edit mode off. Press play and watch the volume fader. As you notice, the volume fader is mainly on 100 and only changes to 0 at Step 09. Technically, when you change the fader value at Step 09, Step Edit Auto Init Steps enabled, the automation sequence for the volume fader gets automatically initialized with its original value 100. All steps get set to 100, before the value 0 gets set at Step 09. The G-Stomper apps come with automation support for almost every parameter all over the applications. Depending on the module where the automated parameter belongs to, the functions to handle the particular automation, clear, initialize, generate, etc. are located as followed. Sampler parameter automations. Sampler parameter automations are track related and can be handled, cleared, initialized, etc. using the track menu. VA-based parameter automations. VA-based parameter automations are track-related and can be handled, cleared, initialized, etc. using the VA-based track menu. All other parameter automations. All other parameter automations are screen-related and can be handled, cleared, initialized, etc. using the dedicated menu on the related screen. However, we must bear in mind that the automation menus in the Mixer and Master Sum Effects section provide two additional functions. The volume fade in and the volume fade out generator. On the other hand, the automation menu in the Timing and Measure section, exclusively available in the G-Stomper Studio to automate the tempo, beats per minute, is limited to clear, initialize and autocomplete. Clear parameter automation. Clear parameter automation is used to delete all existing automation events from the sequence of one or more parameters. Initialize parameter automation. Initialize parameter automation is used to set the current parameter value to every single step of the sequence of one or more parameters. Autocomplete parameter automation. Autocomplete parameter automation is used to create smooth parameter movements just by setting the key steps for one or multiple parameters. To use it, you just have to define at least 2 automation steps in use of the Step Edit mode for the desired parameter. Then call Autocomplete parameter automation and enjoy the magic. The number of key steps is not limited. The autocomplete just fills all the gaps between the key steps with a smooth movement. Keep in mind you must always set at least 2 key steps, even if one of them gets the same value as the already statically set parameter value. In addition, we must almost bear in mind that the autocomplete parameter automation is only supported for faders, not for buttons. Finally, another important point. If you want to set key steps to be used for the autocomplete parameter automation, the auto init steps mode must be disabled. With the auto init steps mode enabled, all steps get automatically initialized, which means in fact there are no gaps to be auto-completed. Generate parameter automation. Generate parameter automation is used to create automation curves based on the following waveforms for one or more parameters: triangle, sawtooth, pulse, square wave fixed at 50% pulse width, triple peak, a combination of smooth sawtooth approximated sine and 3 times faster running sine wave. Sine. All waveforms are invertible. Use the lower limit and the upper limit sliders to define the range of the generated automation curve. Again, we must bear in mind that the generate parameter automation is only supported for faders, not for buttons. It is also important to bear in mind that the generate parameter automation is linked with the autoclone bars. That is, if autoclone bars are enabled, the automation will only be generated for the current bar. The generated automation will then be copied to the autoclone bars. If you want more information about how the option autoclone bars works, you can watch the video we made treating all the functionalities related to the pattern sequencer. Randomize parameter automation. Randomize parameter automation is used to either generate new random automations or to randomize existing automation curves of one or multiple parameters. During the randomization process, the actual parameter value gets measured at every particular step. Then outgoing from the measured value, the randomization, usually plus or minus 10%, gets applied to the existing step value. In the case that no previous automation exists, the current parameter value is used as a base for all steps. Use the random range slider to define the range for randomization. One more time, the randomized parameter automation is only supported for faders, not for buttons. And again, it must be borne in mind that the randomized parameter automation is linked with autoclone bars. That is, if the autoclone bars are enabled, the randomization will only be done for the current bar. A copy of the generated randomization will then be applied to the autoclone bars, depending on the clone rule. Please take note that only the randomization itself, not the complete automation, is cloned. Create volume fade in, fade out. Create volume fade in and create volume fade out are specialized versions of the autocomplete parameter automation feature. The main difference to the autocomplete parameter automation is that the key steps are set automatically. As the name says, they're available exclusively for volume parameters. Create volume fade in creates an automated volume fade in over the complete pattern length, starting with 0 and ending with the current set volume. Create volume fade out creates an automated volume fade out over the complete pattern length, starting with the current set volume and ending with 0. If the song mode is enabled and you start recording while you're on the pattern set screen, the song arranger records your pattern changes. The switches from pattern A to pattern B to pattern C, for example. And also no changes when a pattern loops over multiple times. If the song mode is enabled and you start recording while you're not on the pattern set screen, in fact on any other screen, the song arranger just plays the song instead of recording the song structure. This way you can record parameter automations over multiple patterns while the song is playing. Let's see this in a simple example. First, we need a short song arrangement. Show up the pattern set screen. Copy the same or some variations of the original pattern to several pattern slots in a pattern set. Chain or copy patterns to a song, one pattern after another. Don't use them multiple times. Make sure the song mode is enabled. Switch to the main drum machine. Press record and play to start recording. Now, even if the song mode and recording is enabled, you will notice that the song arranger just plays the song instead of recording new elements to it. Now, while the sequencer is running and recording, and while the song is playing, move the fader slowly over the complete song duration. The recorded parameter automation starts from pattern A, or from wherever else you started to record, and then continues through every pattern in the song. In this functionality, we need to bear in mind that since parameter automations get recorded in the patterns and not in the song, this recording method works well only if you do not use a particular pattern multiple times in a song. So to be sure to use every pattern only once per song if you want to use this recording method. Sadly, we've come to the end of this video about how parameter automation works in G-Stomper Studio. If you want to keep up to date with new videos we upload, don't forget to subscribe and follow us on social networks. See you next time!